Welcome back to Nick Lenz, comic corner classic, non classics. This is episode number 2077, Doubleshot number 1971. We're discussing two DC trades, one collecting miniseries that came out, I think, just a year or two ago. Because we have... Here's the strange thing about this book. This is technically the last major superhero book that Brian Michael Bendis did for DC Comics. Why, you might ask? Because he works Dark Horse now. Legion of Superheroes versus... Well, actually, Justice League versus Legion of Superheroes. My friend Tivia hates this series because he thinks the series is pretty bad. He has his opinion that basically all of Bendis' superhero books were really, really bad. Now, I do agree with some of his opinions that he tends to have, though he tends to be a bit eccentric, a bit overreactive to stuff. Now, I actually really enjoyed the stuff he did for Superman. That's my honest opinion. I also really enjoyed Nomi. Yeah, he worked on this book, and he worked on Nomi Season 2, and that was it. That's all he did for DC. Like, here's basically what he did for the main superhero line for DC Comics. His first comic he did was Action Comics 1000. It was the very first comic he worked on. Okay? He also worked on the Man of Steel miniseries. Superman volume... I think this was volume 5, which they ended it a couple years ago. They bring it back this year. Let's see. He also worked on Action Comics, which is over issue 1001. I think he left with 1030 something. He was on the book for about 3 years and left. I have heard that apparently his run was not financially successful for DC. That it was basically one of the worst selling titles for DC. The only reason why DC didn't cancel it was because basically it's one of their old titles and they don't want to cancel it. People love Action Comics. He, of course, also worked on Young Justice, which I have covered that. Now, basically, here's what I've covered that he wrote. Man of Steel, Action Comics 1000, Detective Comics 1000. Yes, he wrote a story for this one. This is he never wrote Batman before. Let's see this. Man of Steel, Action Comics 1000, Action Comics, Superman. Let's see. There's Detective Comics 1000. Trying to think what else. Batman Universe, great miniseries. I have reviewed it already. I reviewed Nobi Season 1. Young Justice. Trying to think what else to do for DC. I have reviewed the first trade he did for Justice League. Yes. Now, have I reviewed the second trade? No, because it's kind of expensive right now, and I'm basically waiting for a certain point to get it. Now, look at basically what we did for DC. Okay, so apparently he also worked on, let's see. Let's see. Okay, yeah. I think I may have clicked that already. Event Leviathan, Checkmate, and I have, like I said, I reviewed the first collector's run for Justice League, but I have not reviewed. That was Prisms. I have not reviewed on United Order or Leagues of Chaos. I have not reviewed this one, either of those yet at all. Nope. So basically with this book, oh yes, I have also reviewed his Legion Superhero stuff, which you can use. This book can kind of say this is the last thing he did for Legion Superheroes. This book sadly will be the final book Bendis do, and of course also Nomi Season 2, obviously, like I said, and that was pretty much it for him. Though the trailer for that one's released really soon. The story of this one is that the lead superheroes are going back in time. Well, basically, you have also the Gold Lantern here. Now, this basically you could say is basically a follow up to Bendis's very short run of the lead superheroes. He had by far one of the shortest runs that I can think of he ever did for any lead superheroes book. Because here's the thing: the previous line lasted for about 2 years. That book lasted for 1 whole year, and then it got canceled. And they had the Future State stuff with them. And here's the strange thing about the Future State stuff. Other books basically continue afterwards, but not lead superheroes. I did not know the reason for that. Was it terrible? I thought the book was really good. One thing I do agree with the opinion that was not a good idea was the forced romance of John Kent and Saturn Girl. Here's the thing about this book. That romance is never brought up here at all. It's completely ignored. Of course, you also have just like Scattered in Time. Now you have Batman interacting with like the lead superheroes, which is interesting. And him not... Here's the thing. Batman had no idea about... The one thing I thought was quite interesting how Bendis wrote Batman. And this definitely is true. He has never heard of the United Planets. He had never heard of it. He's like... And basically he's kind of like, oh, you guys like human nations in space? And of course, like, essentially, yes. That's the whole point of the United Planets. And of course, that was bring up like Leviathan. Like at one point, when they go back to the present, they actually run into the headquarters of the Legion of Doom, which by Bendis had nothing to do with that. That was Scott Snyder doing that thing. Yeah, that's just some good highlights. Now, when they break off the various teams, of course, we started off with freaking OMAC. Not any OMAC, Jack Kirby's OMAC. I'm like, OMAC? Seriously? OMAC? Like, and then of course they run into a clone of Hawkgirl. Yes. By the way, does it like Bendis does the writing here? The artwork's by Scott Gowski and Stanford Greene. So after they did with OMAC, which is quite strange, yeah, nobody was part of the team. By the way, this book collected, I forgot to mention this, the book collected the entire miniseries of just like first lead superheroes. Also the 2022 annual, which led into this thing. Yep. A brief appearance by, there's the upside down skull that is the Legion headquarters. Yeah, and of course they run into John Kent, the Superman. Yep, and you have Black Adam fighting Solomon Grundy of all people. Yes, Solomon Grundy, which is so funny. After they leave this miniseries here. Yep. Now, of course, the book also was The Great Darkness, which, of course, according to Paul Levitz, it was Darkseid. Yes, that's the whole point of this. You could say it's a little bit lead up until the events of Dark Crisis, kind of, but not really. So, yeah. So, basically, the lead superheroes meet the Justice League for the first time. Great 2-page splash. This is really good here. A lot of interactions. And then the Legion and the Justice League disappear with the actually Gold Lantern. It's like, hello? Yep. And then we see that... By the way, you see this here? This whole page here. This is something that Bendis did for his lead superheroes book. Basically, every issue of one of the characters. I'll have a recap. So then we have Chameleon Boy with, of all people, with Nomi. With Nami. Yes. The Bendis-centric character that he created. And then they run into Wonder Woman. Yeah, Batman. I don't think he was just for the future, but everybody else basically was scattered in time. And of course, them to get arrested. Yes, Batman get arrested because like Great Darkness just spread the future. Yeah, of course, like all about the Great Darkness stuff. And then we see Nomi basically talk to Brainiac 5, and of course talking to Mon-El. And then of course they go, and then all of a sudden they see Kamandi. Yes, Kamandi is here, another Jack Kirby character. You're thinking, what? First Olmec, now freaking Kamandi? What the heck is going on here? And then for some reason, they end up at the headquarters of Leviathan. Now, this is something else that Bendis technically did not create. But he did basically kind of not exactly invent Leviathan. That was a Grant Morrison thing. Yeah, he basically kind of brought it back and basically had where Mark Shaw took over as the head of Leviathan over Talia. Oh, by the way, the Legion have no idea about Leviathan. Now you're probably thinking, they're from the future, would they not know about Leviathan? That is a very good question. And then apparently we have like Saturn Girl and Lightning Lad. And they end up in the world of Batman Beyond. Yes, Batman Beyond. Of course, to hear what I think is supposed to be Colossal Boy. And then you have Ultra Boy with Aquaman, which is a very good team up. Way to take on dinosaurs. Awesome. Then we have apparently the Golden Ant, but basically the Daily Planet with this big hole in the sky and the blimp. Oh, by the way, apparently they're in, it's a Gotham world. Basically, it's just the future. Yeah, and of course, I mentioned about Caputo. Caputo, originally in the 60s, was this giant robot computer. And of course, where they get in, of course, you also have Batman is here with Black Canary. And here's basically I mentioned about Batman basically not knowing about the United Planets. Like, is there a governing body here in the 21st century? Like in the planet? The United, and of course one of the Legionnaires, like, the United Planets is the governing collective, Batman. Like a United Nations of planets? United Nations, but of planets? Correct. Is there a way to activate a high-level system? All crisis programs are in effect. Immediate evacuate. That is the next phase. We are waiting for Science Police authorization. Oh, and by the way, R.J. Brando in all of the continuities before Bendis continuity was always a guy. In Bendis continuity, it's a woman. Now, one thing Bendis did keep from his run is that R.J. Brando is the parent of Chameleon Boy. Previously, it was his father. Now it's his mother. Not really sure why he changed it for. It's kind of weird. And then, of course, you have Gold Lantern, who ends up meeting Alan Scott. Yes. You might be thinking, has Bendis ever Alan Scott before? Once. In Infinite Frontier #0. I think. Actually, no, this may be the first time you actually wrote it, but... And, of course, there was, like, some biplanes. Of course, you have Batman meet with the United Planets. Then you have Colossus media with Wonder Woman. Legion either rise. What happened? What's your name, Legion? People call me Colossus Boy. That's my next question. Can you be more convenient? Brand Computer. This is Jim. I wonder who's. Oh, hi, Dawnstar. Yep, Dawnstar's here too. Though, here's the thing. Dawnstar doesn't have the boo-boo notes you had from the New 52 books. Yeah, it's clothes. And of course, where they fight the Great Darkness. Yep, everybody's just, of course, all about taking the Gold Lantern ring. And then here's the Legion of Doom headquarters, which is so awesome to see the damn thing. Oh, by the way, here's something else. He's like, and of course, you hear what kind of the headquarters of the Legion of Doom, and Chameleon Boy's like, who? I just live with bad guys. Really, Bendis? First, you apparently don't apparently didn't know anything about Leviathan, not a Legion of Doom. Is Bendis implying that apparently Legion of Heroes do not do frickin' research? Do not know their superhero history? I don't know, maybe because of the reason, I have no idea. Yeah, it's strange though. And here's the thing. Do they go inside the Legion headquarters? Do they go inside headquarters? They do, and they run into Vandal Savage. Yes. Legion of Heroes do know who this guy is. And, yeah. Salman Grundy and basically Vandal Savage have something in common. You know what that is? The first superhero they fought was the Alan Scott Green Lantern. Yep. Yeah, then we have Vandal Savage, West, apparently with Batman of all people. And then we have Jonah Hex, which second series by Jonah Hex, and though he looks a bit younger. Yeah. So apparently the person behind this is not Darkseid, but actually Vandal Savage, which is interesting to say the least. And take a tour normal, and then of course you have Jonah Hex basically just right out sunset with Vandal Savage, and that's it. But this book is really good. I thoroughly enjoyed reading this thing. It was a lot of fun. I know my friend Tiffany doesn't like this book. Well, because basically one of the big things I like about it is that John Kane is a teenager instead of being a kid. But I enjoy this book. Really good. This book is 9.5 out of 10. Next up, we are going back to 2011 with Superboy Volume 1, Incubation. This collects the first 7 issues of Superboy Volume 6. Written by Scott Lobdell, artwork by R.B. Silva. Now, Lobdell was the original writer of this run, and then he got replaced by Tom DeFalco. I don't know why, but he did. Mostly put with this book, we have the new introduction to 3 characters. Connell Superboy, Caitlin Fairchild of Gen 13, and this book also introduced Rose Wilson, the daughter of Deathstroke. Yep. And we kind of basically just introduce Superboy. Basically, the whole point of this opening story arc is basically leading to the culling. That's simply put what this is setting up. We also have Superboy meeting Wonder Girl for the first time, who in pre-Flashpoint, these two were an item. Yep, they were. Also, about halfway through the book, like these issues, like, oh, Caitlin Fairchild's a terrorist and she's got muscles. Jacob, by somebody else who doesn't really play a big role in here. Yeah, but not really much else to say about this book. It's a good start for this particular run. I do enjoy reading this particular. Now, one thing at least gotta admit that I think the book got right is the logo. I love the logo. It's very classic Superboy. Now, of course, this is the first of 5 trades to collect this run. Now, when I discuss this book again, the thing is, I have reviewed most of basically what's collected in volume 2 and 3 already. So, in a future comic corner, I'm discussing the issues that I haven't discussed yet. Which would be like, the issues that weren't collected in other books, per se. But yeah, good start for this book. I give this book roughly a 9 out of 10. By the way, Superboy's introduction is this. That's Superboy. Yeah. The thing with this book is that here's kind of the strange thing. It was implied that Death of Superman happened in this continuity, even though it happened back in the 90s. This is, of course, New 52 continuity. This actually is one story. DC has said, oh, it's canon. Oh no, it's not canon. It's something I'm back and forth with. Batman stories have been slowly integrated into canon. I think the most recent one they introduced that one for that they made it was canon was Cataclysm. Yep. But yeah, not much to say with 2 books, both really good. Okay, so that's a particular view, and that's gonna be it for videos tonight. So tomorrow, expect to see probably about 2 videos tomorrow. Super Sentai and probably a comic corner. Okay, next video. Bye.